Welcome back to Down to the Wire. I'm your host, Broden Kreitler. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or love the thrill of competition, we've got the latest highlights, breakdowns, and stories that keep sports fans on the edge of their seats. Let's jump into this week's episode. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm here with Alex Bosler from the Varsity Boys Basketball.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
All right. Well, first question here. We got being about halfway, a little over halfway through the season. What were your expectations for this season?
Well, we always have high expectations going into the year, but, of course it was my senior year, so I had higher expectations. Not saying that they're not going like I planned, but, it's been pretty good. Right now we're 8-4, coming off a good win versus Arcadia Valley, so, just trying to stack the wins. But as far as the expectations, I had high hopes, and I feel like we've done a good job of executing those early on here, midway.
Mm-hmm. Things change in the season. What are some of the things that we maybe need to improve on as a team?
Well, that's a tough question. We lack, I think, some games, certain things. I think it's not all the same thing. Some games, our defense has been all right this year, but it's been very up and down. Turnovers are not really that big of a problem, but, you always want to limit those. You always want to try to get a chance to get a shot off, which is always key. You don't want to give the other team more shot attempts. But really our defense and just executing on offense and being consistent. I think that's some of the things our coaches like to preach, being consistent and keep trying to stack the wins, keep trying to stack our consistent play. So
yeah, I feel like a lot of the games and most of our losses have been just defensive mainly. We wouldn't come to play defensive wise, and we would give up a lot of turnovers. Just stuff like that, like things that we can control defensively. I feel like a lot of our losses are because of that.
Yeah, it's also, the offensive end, some games too, we've lacked to score points in some of our losses. A couple of them I can count. We've lacked to score a decent bit, which but if you play good enough decent defense, that should take care of itself, and enough points should be enough points to win the game no matter what. So we can always improve in both ways, though.
For sure, yeah. Well, how would you describe this team's chemistry at this point in the season?
Well, we're very high vibes a lot. I feel like we're very, we're pretty close together. I know our coaches preach that chemistry, and I feel like a lot of us are good friends, and none of us hate each other, which is very nice. So yeah. We're all very good friends, so we have pretty good chemistry, especially out on the court. It can get frustrating sometimes, but I think we do a good job of staying together and just pushing through no matter what. If it's a tough game, if it's an easy game, no matter what, we're celebrating guys. So
what were some of your goals leading into the season?
Well, I didn't have too many goals. Of course, I want to try to win as many games as possible. I'm very team-orientated, and that's, at the end of the day, that's the only thing I'm going to remember when I leave here is, our team success. So just to see how many wins we can have, and trying to make some, obviously, try to make some noise in the Christmas tournament, but that didn't end up happening. But, that's all right. But we're going to try to make some noise here in conference, and then when it gets to district, we'll try to make some even more noise because, that's when everything's gonna come to play. So we gotta be ready, especially later in the season.
That's what everybody looks forward to. I know I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be tough playing at Potosi. You have any thoughts on that?
It's we can't control it, so we just gotta do. We'll play wherever, So
yeah,
it's gonna be it's a tough district, but again, if we gotta play them here, we'll play them here. If we play them there, we play them there. No matter what, we're gonna come out and play. So
yeah. How do you think the practices translate to games?
It takes a big jump from practices into games sometimes, just because of the intensity and what it matters more in a game. But I think especially the day before game is the practices that really truly matter. Not that all practices matter, but the ones that you're truly prepping for whoever team you're playing for, and maybe you're going a little bit softer, but you're prepping. It's more mental, and I feel like that's the more mental practices are the ones you really need to lock in and focus on the most. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I feel like the coaches do a really good job of preparing us, and even 2 days or the day before of just really making sure we're locked in and focusing and having a strict practice is really good for us to scout the other team and be prepared.
Yeah, our coaches do a good job of scouting the other teams, and also a lot of us players watch a lot of film on other teams. So, where every single game we go into, all of us coaches and players are prepared for whatever's at stake.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of prepared, how does the team prepare, pre-game, or do you guys have a pre-game routine?
Well, this. We don't do much. Yesterday we played music a little bit, but before the game, but not really. I feel like everyone's kind of in their own world a little bit before the game, and we're all friends. But when it's pregame, you know who to mess with and you know who not to mess with. I like to try to keep the vibes high a little bit, just because I think some people you get too into the game sometimes that you kind of try to enjoy what it's all about, having fun with your boys and just enjoying the journey. That's what that's what you're really going to remember. Like when we're done here playing, like you're going to remember the journey with these guys, and that's what really matters. And I think that's something that I try to do, especially, is just enjoy the time I have with these guys and just try to make the best of it.
Yeah, I feel like, on bus rides or if it's a home game, everybody's really relaxed and we're just kind of having fun, hanging out, waiting for game. Obviously, when we step out for pregame warm-ups, and
it's a different story from there. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, you know who to mess with, you know who not to mess with, especially when you get down into the locker room before. And also depends on the stakes of the game. If it's no offense, but if it's like a regular season game compared to like a district game, it's got different stakes.
Sure, yeah. Who would you say is the funniest person on the team and why?
Oh my, this is it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with my boy Noah Kurtz as a freshman, just because this guy is he's funny. He's a walking jokester, and the stuff he does sometimes on the court will make you laugh. I also give a shout out to Broden and Parker Stomberg, because they both can be pretty funny sometimes. We all keep the vibes high, but when people are showing you different reels and videos through when you're on bus rides and sitting in the bleachers, it's just pretty funny. And it overall, like I said, that's the stuff you're gonna remember when we leave. So,
and I feel like that just joking around with your friends, that also translates to pre-game, and just how the vibes are, is we're just having fun. And
yeah, I like to. Like I said, I like to keep the vibes high, and I think it also creates a little bit of energy as well. You don't really want to go into a game knowing that, like, the vibes are down, like, hey, we might lose. Like, it's good to, like, keep it high, keep it kind of funny a little bit, and just enjoy the time you have with each other.
So, what would you say is your favorite pregame song?
Pregame song? Oh, my gosh. Artist or...
you could do artists.
Artists? Well, I'm not. I actually am a more like chill pop guy. I'm actually not like, I know a lot of people are a rap or a
something hype.
I'm more of like a chiller country guy, I would say. Let me give you a song. Maybe like I like Billie Jean. If you know, you know. Billie Jean. It's a vibe song, and if you've never listened to it, I advise that you go on your local Google app right now, look it up, and listen to it on your way home or whatever you're at right now, because it's a great song. So that's probably one of my pregame songs I have.
Very rare to find a chill guy. Like a lot of people I know. I'm a hype. I like listening to hype songs just to get you hype. But
yeah, I like it. It's not that I'm not trying to like. I know a lot of what you're saying is like hype kind of gets you locked in a little bit more. Not saying I don't, but I think the chiller is more the side of me, like, hey, just trying to have fun, like enjoy the times I'm here. Every game I get is an opportunity. It's a gift from God. So just trying to take advantage of that, and I'm very appreciative.
So what leadership role do you feel like you've stepped in the most this season?
That's a good question, because I came into this year knowing that I need to take a step in leadership, because I haven't. I've been playing not to toot my own horn, but I've been playing varsity for the past 3 years. So I've had a lot of experience around some great leaders. So I know what it is to see great leadership, but I've never really done it myself. I've been kind of like a follow by example guy. So I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone a little bit this year, talking to the guys a little bit. Just trying to do that extra step a little bit that I haven't done in the past, even though, I can, but I've been trying to do a little bit more this year for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like, everybody on the team always has something to say. It's not just your main, guys that are always talking. I feel like it's everybody, even in practices and games.
Yeah, everybody has their own leadership role. No one's limited when it comes to leadership. Everyone thinks it can be seniors, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. They're just the ones that a lot of people look up to and kind of expect that out of you. But yeah, I think all of us do a good job of leadership. But I've been trying to take a step higher a little bit in that this year, and I think I'm doing a decent job at least. We're 8-4 so far, so I like, we can't be complacent with our record, but we've done a pretty good job, but we got to build off that. So,
well, looking into the second half of the season, what would you say is a couple or maybe just one big thing the team needs to clean up on or change maybe?
Well, we need to try to. Well, we just went on a 3-game losing streak. We need to try to avoid those. We're going to be playing at home. We got 4 games at home after our game at Potosi on Friday. So, just try to get the crowd behind us, get out to early leads, try to put teams down early. So I think that creates a lot of energy. We saw last night we did a good job of that, putting Arcadia Valley kind of down early in the third quarter, and that really helped us. I think we need to continue to do that. Continue to come out and hopefully hit some threes. That really brings our energy up a lot.
Definitely brings up our energy.
Yeah, we hit a lot of threes, get some and ones, try to get some easy buckets, and just play defense too. We need to play a complete game. I think when we can play a complete game for 4 quarters, we're a really good team, and we're hard to beat.
Then there's been a lot of times that it happened really big against Hillsborough in the Christmas tournament is whenever we only show up for 2 quarters.
Yeah,
that really puts us down.
Yeah, that's something that consistency I talked about earlier. We need to, like I said, play 4 quarters, play the way we know we can, because we beat some really good teams this year. Like, we've seen the potential. We've gone into some crazy environments and won. So, we've won at home. We've won on the road. We can do it both ways. We just got to be consistent, and I think that's going to be really key down the stretch, especially with, you're getting into the season, fatigue's going to hit, you're going to have bumps, bruises. You just got to play through those, and sicknesses as well. I know that's been going around a little bit, so we just got to play through those and be consistent.
Yeah. Well, looking into this game Friday against Potosi, what are you kind of excited for?
Well, I'm excited to play another game, obviously. That's a big opportunity for us, but it's a conference game. We don't like to take any game bigger than the other one, but this game has a little bit more high stakes. We know what they are. They're a really good team. They only have 2 losses so far coming into our game Friday. I know they play today too, but they only have 2 losses when we're recording this. But it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be high stakes. There's going to be a lot of energy in the stadium, which are always the best games, and it's going to be pretty hyped. I'm excited, but they're a really good team, so it's going to be a tough game.
For sure, definitely one we have to lock in on, and like we said, come there ready to play and play all 4 quarters consistently.
Yeah.
So, what has been your favorite moment or game this season so far?
Well, obviously one we've won is one of my favorite moments, but I think I'm actually going to go with the R7 Jefferson game when we played there. I think that's, that game sticks out to me just because I think it took a full team effort. That was that was our first game going on the road and playing a team, at their place in the regular season. So we knew what we were going against. They're a really good team. They got some really good players and a really good coach. So we had to bring our A game that game, and not everything went our way, but we ended up pulling through and getting the win, and that was big for our Christmas seating and just our overall vibes. And then, like I said, we went on Friday to beat a really good Hayti Indians team they're gonna compete for a Class 2 title this year. Like, they're really good. If you're from down south, you know how good Hayti is. So I think that Jefferson game was really big on building off that and continuing throughout the week.
And I feel like, you just talked about beating Hayti and beating both those teams in 1 week. I feel like that just brought our momentum up so much and realized how good we can be.
Yeah.
Whenever we're playing good.
Yeah, when we when we play good, we're really hard to beat. So we just got to continue to do that throughout the year, and then see where we go from there.
I got a couple funny questions here for you. If you could play with any NBA player in history, who would it be and why?
That's good question. Well, I'm obviously going to pick Steph Curry not because just his play on the court, but I think he impacts people off playing with him as much as him doing the scoring. I think he's just a guy who, when you're around him, I've never been around him, but I've heard teammates of Curry's talk about him, and I think that when you're just around him, it makes you a better player, but also just a better person. I think he's a great human being, so I think just being around him and being able to play with him would be like the highlight of my life.
I knew you were going to pick him, but well, looking into I guess the rest of the season, what are some of your expectations going forward?
Well, obviously we got still a lot of conference games left. We talked about Potosi, but we got Fredericktown after that, and North County, Central. Those will all be at home, but we gotta handle our business. Win some games. That's obviously the main goal. Create some vibes, create some energy, and hopefully create a good enough stretch to where we can head into the conference tournament playing pretty well, and then head towards the end of the season, which is only a month away. Really, until district's time, about a month and a half. So hopefully we need to be playing our best ball later in the year and go from there. Yeah,
I feel like, coming off this kind of road trip, I guess you could say, we haven't really had a home game in a while, that we have, I think it's 4 in a row right at home.
Yeah.
That hopefully, and we'll have our crowd there with us. Hopefully we can pull out some good wins there and kind of get some more momentum back. As you were just talking about, we've been on a 3-game losing streak as it ended last night against AV, but that would be a good way to find some momentum.
Yeah, for sure. And, just to keep enjoying the journey is what I'm going to be doing myself for sure, just because, it's my last year. So all I got left is the final sport. I don't play a spring sport. So continue to enjoy this journey with my guys, because, again, that's what I'm going to remember when I leave, is the funny moments and the stuff I do with the guys in between practices or after games, or just when we're, having fun, playing around, just whenever. I'm going to enjoy those moments and keep doing that throughout the year.
Well, thank you for being on this podcast today here with me, and best of luck this season and to the basketball program.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for this week's podcast. Thank you for listening and tuning in. If you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to go check out our one-stop shop website for future sporting events, rosters, blogs, sponsors, and live broadcast. To get there, just look up SGHSSportsstream.com.
When an accident happens, you don't just need a mechanic. You need a team that knows the game. At Dwayne Doza Auto Body, we bring over a century of combined experience to every repair. We're certified and approved for all insurance needs, and we specialize in taking the stress out of the process. Dealing with a high deductible? We're here to help you save 50 to 100% on those out-of-pocket costs. From full-service collision repair to our brand-new mobile glass service, all our work is 100% guaranteed. Don't get sidelined by a damaged vehicle. Call 573-883-9996 for a quote, or visit us at 590 St. Gen Drive right here in St. Genevieve. Dwayne Doza Auto Body will get you back in the driver's seat. Welcome to another night of SGHS Sports. Before we get to the action, let's talk about the team behind our broadcast, Ciro's Family Restaurant. For over 30 years, this downtown St. Gen landmark has been a local favorite, known for its incredible pizza, delicious sandwiches, varietal pasta, and cool suds. Whether you're dining in, enjoying the patio, or just need a quick bite, with curbside pickup, Ciro's has you covered. They even have a great salad bar to go. Ciro's Family Restaurant, the official sponsor of the SGHS Sports Stream and Down to the Wire podcast. Grab a slice and let's get ready to cheer on the Dragons. Click on the QR code or go online to check out their updated menu at cirosrestaurant.com/menus. And now, coming to you live and local. Using Dragon Pride, this is SGHS Sports Stream. Powered by Wirecast. Sponsored by Wayne Doza's Auto Body and Auto Sales. And Zeros, and exclusively brought to you by Ste. Genevieve High School. All right. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. Coming to you live here at Ste. Genevieve. As Ste. Genevieve hosts tonight the Fredericktown Blackcats. This will be their second meeting of the year. They met earlier this year in the tournament play over the holiday tournament at Park Hills, and St. Gen came away with a loss on that one as the Blackcats were able to win 50-43, and that was early in the season. But now we're in the mid-range part of it. We'll see what shakes loose. Both teams coming into tonight's game should be a pretty evenly matched type of game right now. Ste. Genevieve Dragons are 8-5 right now in their season, and the Fredericktown Blackcats are 10-6. Both teams are very similar in points per game, with St. Gen hitting 61.5 and Fredericktown 63.7. St. Genevieve Dragons are allowing about 59 points a game, and the Blackcats are a little bit stingier with a 54.1 range right now. Overall matchup, tonight's history is the all-time record is 23-6, St. Gen leading that, and currently they have lost the last two meetings against them. We'll be back in a moment. All right, we're back to start the beginning of the game here for St. Genevieve as they host the Fredericktown Blackcats. Looking at the visiting Blackcats tonight, for the starters is number 1, Blake Brakefield. Number 4, David Slinkard. Number 5, Mason Cureton. Number 10, Tucker Rutzel. And number 31, Andrew Robbins. On the other side of the aisle there for St. Gen, tonight's starters will be number 2, Parker Stomberg. Number 3, Jeffrey Hunter. Number 10, Dominic Johnson. Number 11, Alex Bosler. And number 30, Eli Bennett. As both teams are being introduced out on the court tonight. Both teams looking to try and get a victory here, as it is a conference game and will have a direct impact on current status right now, as both teams so far in their schedule have won and lost against the same opponents on that end that they both played. So it's pretty evenly matched and should be an exciting thing to watch tonight as the Dragons are being announced out onto the game. Not a bad showing tonight, considering it's super cold out there. It's about 15 degrees and climbing downward as we look for potential snow to enter the area tomorrow around 9 a.m. or maybe a little bit after that. And everybody's kind of batting down the hatches and getting ready for it as we start to heat up the gym here and melt some stuff down. We're going to start in the first quarter here as both teams get on the court here for the toss. the ball will go to, looks like the Black Cats, as it looked like it was about to go out of bounds. Nice job by number 4, Slinker, to bring it back into play here. Number 10, Rutzel at the top of the key. Swings it back over to number 4, Slinkard. Slinkard swings it back around to number 31, Robbins. Robbins sets a screen and rolls. Nice drive there by number 5, Gurden, but he dishes it out. And good ball rotation tonight by the Black Cats as they start off here. Rutzel trying to find something inside. Nice job there by, looks like Bennett, as he's able to deny. Bosler brings the ball up, gives it over to Dom as Dom swings it over to Bennett. Bennett back over to Johnson. Johnson inside to Bosler. Bosler gives it to, looks like Hunter. Hunter's able to power it in from the block and get 2 points to break the ice for St. Gen on the board here as action ensues here. Brakefield swings it around over to number 4. That'd be Slinkard. Slinkard back over to Rutzel. Rutzel pulling up to the top of the key, looking to penetrate. Dragons kept him out. And Brakefield dishing it back over to Slinkard. Brakefield back over to Rutzel, as Rutzel kind of checking out the defense here for St. Gen as they're running a man-to-man. Robbins up top of the key, looking to screen and roll. Bosler leaves his feet. He dishes it out to number 4, Slinkard for deep. 3-point shot and miss. Rebounded quickly by Stomberg. Gives it to Bosler. Bosler to Bennett from the corner and just misses. Nice job there by Stomberg kicking it out. And Dom gets it. Throws it over to Hunter. Hunter shoots the tray, misses. Then back to Bosler. Bosler gets it stolen away as Black Cats look to push here. Russell dishes it out to Curtin, and that'll be a steal by Johnson. Johnson looks to drive, and for a layup here, is fouled with the body on the shot, and that'll be 2. So nice back and forth exchange here by both teams. Defense pretty stingy for both of them right now. 5:49 left to play in the first period as Dom goes to the line for 2. This will be his first of 2 tonight. And hits the first one. It's good. We'll see what Johnson does here after his second and what the coach will call here for the Dragons. Dragons have been known to press here, and he hits the second one. They call off, and looks like they're going to stick into man-to-man as Dragon picks him up at half court here as the matchup goes. Rutzel will bring it down here and looks to give it to possibly Brakefield, and he does. Brakefield in the middle there to Bobbins, and Robbins kicks it back out over to Slinkard. Slinkard dishes it over to Curtin. Curtin throws it away to Bosler. Bosler looks to drive for a layup and nails it. Good conversion there by Bosler, and Dragons are up by 6 here to start the game. Rutzel brings it down, looking to go the inside here. Kicks it back out to Brakefield. Brakefield over to Curtin. Curtin over to Slinkard. Slinkard looking inside to Robbins as they're going to try to work the big man underneath. Just haven't been able to give it to him yet. And looks like that'll be a deep shot by Rutzel as a forced pass, 3-point, no good. It's rebounded by St. Gen and then stolen from, looks like Bennett. And inside pass there from Rutzel to Bobbins, and Robbins is able to convert with a nice easy layup. They kick it out. St. Gen to Bennett. Bennett hits the tray from the line as he's on the baseline. Nice shot by him. Assist goes to Bosler as looks like the Dragons respond. Slinkard will kind of take a look around here. He gives it to Brakefield. Brakefield looking around. Dishes it back over to Rutzel. Rutzel pulls it out to the corner, looks to drive, kicks it out over to Brakefield. He shoots a 3, misses. Rebounded by Johnson. Johnson bringing it up here, kicks it inside over to Stomberg. Stomberg to Bosler underneath, just misses the conversion on the block. Brakefield looks to penetrate. He pulls it out, kicks it over to Slinkard. Slinkard give it over to Curtin, back to Slinkard here as Slinkard looks to push, and he's going to lose the ball. And Bennett looks to convert, and he does on the fast break. And St. Gen making good on their turnovers here right now as it's 11-2 with 3:31. I don't think the Black Cats were expecting this to start off with. A little confusion on the court here, the communication breakdown. Robbins up top, looking to pass inside, almost turns it over, and looks like Rutzel, nice move on the inside, is able to convert. Don hurries up and throws it over to, looks like Stomberg. Stomberg back to Johnson. Johnson to Stomberg. Over to Bosler in the corner. Goes up to the top. And looks like Dom's going to take it out at the top of the key as Bosler pulls it back out here. Gives it over to Bennett from the top of the key there. He misses the shot. Robbins comes down with it. And Rutzel looks to push. Sends it over to Slinkard, who shoots the tray, misses, and Johnson will get the rebound. St. Gen slows the pace down just a bit, throws it to Bosler, free throw line extended. He kicks it out to Stomberg for a three. He misses, and looks like Hunter pulls an offensive foul as pushing off to get the rebound there, so he didn't get away with that one. There will be a couple of switches for St. Gen as Broden Kreitler enters the game, along with, looks like Simon Fritsch. Kreitler, number 14, and Fritsch, 15, enter the game for St. Gen as Rutzel brings it down, looks to drive on Bosler. Bosler good defense, kicks it back out. It's going to be stolen by Stomberg. He's going to look to try and score on the layup and converts. And that'll be 13-4 with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left. Fast-paced game in the first quarter so far as both teams are back and forth here. So it looks like number 2, Catchings, is in for the Black Cats as Broden is playing defense on him, and a timeout is called. Looks like it's going to be a full by the coach for the Black Cats, and they're going to take a quick timeout, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.
It takes a community to build a great team, and that's why we are so proud to partner with Ciro's Family Restaurant, a downtown tradition for over 30 years. Ciro's is the perfect place to celebrate a win or just grab a great meal. From their famous pizzas to fantastic pasta and savory sandwiches, they've got all the fuel you need to get loud for the Dragons. Dine in, outdoor seating, or curbside pickup, however you want it. Ciro's delivers. Ciro's Family Restaurant, our sponsor and your spot for great food. Click on the QR code or go online to check out their updated menu at cirosrestaurant.com/menus.
All right, coming back after that timeout. And St. Gen went on a pretty good run here to start off the first quarter of play. 1:57 left to go here in the first quarter. Black Cats call a timeout. They'll inbound from the sideline, and play will ensue. They kick it back out to Brakefield. Brakefield over to Hutchings. Hutchings switches it over to number 4, Slinkard, who nails the tray wide open on the arc. And St. Gen will inbound here. Bosler swings it out to Bennett. Bennett, little fake head, nothing there as he pulls up here. Thought about shooting the tray. So it looks like they're running a 2-3 zone right now for the defense on the Black Cats as Stomberg switches it over to Kreitler. Kreitler throws it away to number 10, Rutzel. Rutzel with a nice layup, and Kreitler fouls him on the shot as Rutzel's able to convert, and the score goes 13-9. That'll be Kreitler's first foul tonight. And Bosler will be replaced here by Johnson, who comes back in. It's Bosler's first break. So there'll be one shot here by Rutzel. And it's off, and that'll be over the back right there for Brakefield. And that'll be an easy call for the referee on that. So that'll be his first foul tonight as Black Cats look to press here. Catchings and Slinkard will be up top here, try to stop Johnson from breaking it over the middle here. Johnson looking to push, kicks it over to Stomberg. Stomberg breaks, nice inside move, misses the shot, and almost gets his own rebound. but it is deflected out of bounds, and that'll be Black Cat ball with 1:05 left in the first quarter. St. Gen pulls back here to run defense, and looks like number 4, Maddox Sutton, will replace Broden Kreitler here with the last 1:05 right now. And here comes Black Cats here as Russell brings it up. Catching's on the backside. He catches the ball, looking inside, back over to Russell. Russell switches it over to Slinkard. Slinkard keeping it up to Catchings. Catchings swings it back over to Russell, then back to Catchings again, and they're kind of playing pitch and catch over here on the wing as they work the ball around. Slinkard top of the key here. Over to Russell on the wing. Russell trying to find something inside right now, but St. Gen's defense is being pretty stingy, clogging up the middle. There's a roll there by Catchings. He tries to dump inside over to, looks like Robbins, and boy, Johnson was hit hard. No call was called as Stomberg gets the ball. Coach Coleman tries to plead his case, but no dice. 15 seconds left. St. Gen's going to shoot one, I think, as they try to run the clock here and try to come out in the first quarter up ahead here. Little screen. Johnson throws the flare. He misses, and Sutton steals the ball, dishes it to Dom. Dom last second behind the back shot. Nothing going to happen there, and it's going to end first quarter of play, 13-9. St. Gen on top right now as we go into the second quarter. We'll be back in a moment. Coming back after the first quarter of play, both teams not disappointing as they are back and forth action pretty fast in the first period of play, and that first quarter went pretty doggone fast as we roll into the start. Looks like St. Gen will have it coming out here to start the second quarter of play in the first half. And Bennett will dish it to Dom, and looks like they're in a little 1-2-2 here. Nice inside move by Bosler and pass by Dom for the assist. Or I should say Hunter. Hunter's able to convert and hit that one for 2. 7:46 on the clock here as looks like Rutzel brings it down. He kicks it out over to, looks like number 5, Curitin. Curitin swings it back up to the top, and Rutzel kind of playing around with it here. Looks to give it back to number 1, Brakefield. Brakefield drives and is able to finger roll it, and St. Gen gets it in real quick but doesn't press too hard. Dom looks to penetrate inside and kicks it over to Hunter, who's on the block, is able to convert. Nice easy basket there as St. Gen answers, as St. Gen holds a 6-point lead right now. Kierden driving inside, gives it to Slinkard. Slinkard, nice fake, looks to penetrate. He ran out of room to dribble and move his foot, and that'll be a turnover as he picks his pivot foot up. Black Cats will pull back here. And Johnson will bring it up here as a 2-3 is set up in the zone. They meet Johnson at the top. He goes right to the middle with Bosler. Bosler to Hunter for the 3-point shot. It's going to miss. Bennett's going to come down with a rebound. Kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson drives inside. No good on the layup try. Robbins gets the rebound. Slinkard back to Brakefield. Brakefield back to Slinkard. And they kick it over to, looks like, Rutzel. Rutzel drives on Bosler, misses the shot. Bosler will come up with it. He dribbles down the middle, looking to try and set up here as they try to work the inside. There's the Bosler to the outside over there. And unfortunately, looks like Sutton turned the ball over. So Brakefield up top here as Rutzel dribbling the ball up top of the key. He just pulls up and shoots a tray, misses. Good box out by both players. And Dom looks to push. He kicks it over to Hunter. Hunter is blocked by Robbins. Nice job on defense there as Rutzel gets the ball and brings it back down. Rutzel kicks it out to Slinkard. Slinkard almost pulls up. And nice inside try by, looks like Brakefield to get it to Robbins on the block, but looks like Bennett was not fooled as he's able to deflect it and it went out of bounds. But it will stay here. Black Cats ball as they look to take out. Brakefield easily inbounds over to Rutzel. Rutzel back up to the top to Slinkard. Slinkard over to Cureton. And Cureton looking at a screen pick and roll. Nothing there. Slings it back out to Slinkard. He takes it to the top of the key as number 23, Richie, comes into play for the Black Cats. And that's going to be a steal by Bosler. He looks to shoot here. And nice move on the inside as Bosler converts 2 points. And that's 19-11 here with 5:19 to play in the second period as Rutzel brings it down again. Brakefield kind of moving around as they try to rotate and almost turned it over. Slinkard's able to get it there as like the Black Cats gave Robbins a little break. Another steal by Bosler as he tries to take it inside. Stomberg on the putback, and he's able to put the putback in, and Coach Coleman will take a timeout as they extend their lead to 10 with 4:57 left to play. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, and we'll be back in a moment.
When life throws you a dent, a ding, or a breakdown, we've got your back at Dwayne Doza Auto Body and Auto Sales with certified technicians that'll bring your car back to life. Fast, affordable, and done right the first time. So if you're ever in trouble or need a repair, call Dwayne Doza at 573-883-9996. When life throws...
All right, coming back after the 30-second timeout here, St. Gen called. It'll be Black Cats ball down loose as Coleman calling up and dialing in a little play here as St. Gen has made some big moves here on the miscues by the Black Cats on turnovers. Looks like Richie will still stay in as they take Robbins out. And Black Cats inbound. Brakefield back to Rutzel. Rutzel will bring it up. A little slower pace to start it off as looks like the Black Cats go to set up offense. Richie comes out to set the screen and roll. And looks like Rutzel penetrates inside. Nice jump stop and is blocked or deflected. Rutzel gets the rebound, and that's going to be a foul probably on Bosler as they were vying for the ball. And looks like that'll be Bosler's first foul with 4:40 left to play in the first half. Brakefield taking the ball out, looking to go inside, just kicks it out to Rutzel. And Rutzel will swing it to the wing as he goes to penetrate again on Bosler. Nice move on the inside. Nothing he could do about it after getting the foul. And St. Gen will take the ball out here and come back. Dom at the top of the key kicks it over to Bennett. Bennett looking inside, back to Dom at the top of the key here. And they swing it to Bennett. Bennett from a deep three and just misses. Bounces pretty far out. Richie will get the ball for the Black Cats. Gives it over to Brakefield. Brakefield over to Slinkard. Slinkard looks to go inside. Nice job by Hunter blocking him out. And Brakefield saw Rutzel. They just miscue there. Rutzel looks to penetrate again as Hunter and Bosler have switched up men here. So now they're switching around here. They're trying to isolate. There's the pick and roll. Nice job by Richie. Richie dribbles it off the foot of Stomberg. They're both on the ground moving. There should have been a travel call, but there wasn't. And Hunter gets the ball. Dom looks to penetrate. He's got a 1-on-2, and he misdribbles. It's going to be a turnover by Brakefield. Brakefield finds Rutzel all by himself underneath, and easy bucket there. Dom will bring it up again, and it's 21-15 now with 3:25 left to play. Dom kicks it out to Bennett, and that'll be an easy foul there, and a call by the referee from Brakefield, who slaps away at it. That'll be his second foul of the night. He'll be replaced by number 2, Darian Catchings. So Catchings will come in as St. Gen looks to inbound. St. Gen squandering a little bit of a 10-point lead as the Black Cats claw their way back on a couple miscues. Bennett swings it back out to Bosler as they stay in that 2-3. Stomberg tries to go inside. He kicks it back to Bennett. Bennett, nice head fake. And to the hard way, misses. Nice rebound there by Rutzel. He kicks it out, and it gives back to Rutzel again as he brings it in. 3 minutes left to play here in the first half as the pace has kind of slowed down just a little bit, but both teams kind of working each other on the offensive side. Nice job there by number 5, Cureton, as Cureton basically comes in and penetrates inside. Nice little finger roll, 2-point conversion. 21-17 as the 10-point lead turns to 4. And that'll be a kicked ball by Black Cats, and it'll be inbounded by St. Gen. And looks like Sutton, Maddox Sutton will come in and give Bennett a quick break here. With 2:37 left to play, Hunter inbounds it in to Dom as St. Gen calls an offense here as they go to set up. Bosler on the wing, swings it back out to Dom up top. He dribbles in and gives it to Stomberg. He's back to Johnson. Johnson to Stomberg, trying to look inside. Not much there, a lot of congestion. Bosler kind of brings it over to the side. They swing it to Hunter. Hunter looks to penetrate inside, and it's dribbled off one of the Black Cats' feet, so it'll stay there for the Dragons as number 31, Andrew Robbins, comes in, and he will replace Cullen Ritchie. Bosler will inbound for the Dragons. Nice inside move there by Bosler to Hunter, but Hunter misses that easy shot, and there's going to be a jump ball. That'll go to the Black Cats there, so missed opportunity there. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half. Cureton will bring it up as looks like the Black Cats go to set up here. So it looks like Catchings and Johnson have entered for the Black Cats. Air ball shot by Slinkard as Hunter looks to push, tries to make a pass to the outside to Stomberg. It is kicked by Slinkard, and Fritch will come in for number 4, Maddox Sutton for the Dragons. They try to match up a little height differential here on this possession. Minute 52 left to play in the first half. Dragons ahead 21-17. Johnson up top and kicks it over to Stomberg. Stomberg back to Johnson, over to Bosler for a 3, and in and out, and Fritz isn't able to hold it. They go to push, an easy move there by Catchings, and nice job by the Black Cats to push. And it is 21-19 here with a minute 31 as Black Cats clawing back real quick. Johnson over to Stomberg. Johnson in the middle to Bosler. Bosler inside to Hunter. Nice inside move for 2 points off the block. And a minute and 17 left to play as the clock moves. 23-19 right now. And St. Gen in a man-to-man as they switch up the offense. Nice move by Hunter as he's able to steal it. And he kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson inside just pulls up and misses an easy shot off the block. And that's going to be an easy call by the referee as number 15. Looks like Simon Fritch just fouls on the back after the miss. So a minute left here. The Black Cats are going to bring it down. Been a pretty good game so far. Not a lot of fouls. Pretty clean and good job by the refs. Catchings with the ball on the wing, trying to get it inside to Robbins. Fritch is not able to hold it, but then Bosler is able to get the tip. He gives it to Johnson. Johnson all the way in and gets hammered, but is able to convert the 2 points. 40 seconds left as St. Gen nails it. Cureton brings it up here. He pulls it out as he looks for something inside or looks to drive. He looks to drive here, and a fadeaway shot just misses. And Fritch knocks the ball out of bounds as he did a good job boxing out. Robbins wasn't able to use both hands to grab at the ball here. And looks like the Black Cats trying to get something inside. They give it to Robbins. Nice jump shot. He misses it, though. Hunter recovers, gives it to Johnson. 21 seconds left here as Johnson pushes, pulls it out real quick as they look to get one shot off. Johnson switches over to Stomberg. Stomberg to Hunter. Hunter pulls it out to Johnson again at the top of the key. 8 seconds left. St. Gen looking to get one shot off here. Johnson dribbles inside to Hunter. Nice shot inside. And that ball will go out of bounds with 0.1 seconds. So as soon as the Black Cats throw the ball in, that'll be it for the first half. And we go into the first half of play. St. Gen on top, 25-10, as they lead against the visiting Fredericktown Black Cats. And looks like we will have a little intermission time here, and then we will catch you back. We should have a little bit of halftime entertainment with the Emeralds when they come out. We won't be able to play some of their music due to copyright, on live TV, but we will broadcast and show the performance. Stick around. We'll be back.
This winter season, share the flavor of Ciro's with a Ciro's restaurant gift card. Perfect for friends, family, teachers, teammates, and anyone who loves good food and good vibes. Whether it's a cozy dinner, a quick bite, or your favorite Ciro's dish, a gift card lets them enjoy it their way. Easy to give, fun to receive, and delicious every time. Pick yours up today at your local Ciro's restaurant and make someone's season extra tasty. A dent, a ding, or a breakdown, we've got your back at Dwayne Doza Auto Body and Auto Sales with certified technicians that'll bring your car back to life. Fast, affordable, and done right.
An accident happens. You don't just need a mechanic. You need a team that knows the game. At Dwayne Doza Auto Body, we bring over a century of combined experience to every repair. We're certified and approved for all insurance needs, and we specialize in taking the stress out of the process. Dealing with a high deductible? We're here to help you save 50 to 100% on those out-of-pocket costs. From full-service collision repair to our brand-new mobile glass service. All our work is 100% guaranteed. Don't get sidelined by a damaged vehicle. Call 573-883-9996 for a quote. Or visit us at 590 St. Gen Drive right here in St. Genevieve. Dwayne Doza Auto Body will get you back in the driver's seat.
Looking for the perfect spot in downtown St. Genevieve? Come enjoy the hometown flavor of Ciro's Restaurant, where great food, friendly faces, and unforgettable meals are always on the menu. From classic comfort dishes to crowd-favorite pizzas and pastas, Ciro's serves up fresh, delicious plates that keep locals coming back and visitors talking. Bring your family, meet your friends, or make it a night out, because every meal feels special at Ciro's. Ciro's Restaurant, downtown St. Genevieve. Here, good taste comes naturally.
right, welcome back to the second half of tonight's game, and the showdown continues as Ste. Gen hosting the Fredericktown Blackcats. Ste. Gen leading 25-19 going into the half, but you never know in the tale of two quarters or two halves what'll happen here. With 37 seconds remaining before we get underway, a little shout out to our sponsors tonight, which is Dwayne Doza's Auto Body and Sales. Thanks for sponsoring us out there. If you need any body work done or windshield glass repair, they are your man. I went and recently had mine Ford F-150 worked over there after a game where I hit a deer, and boy, I tell you, it looks like it's brand new. Couldn't even tell that it was in a wreck. And also against Ciro's, our other sponsor tonight. Good eating over there at the restaurant at Ciro's downtown. Always good and been around for a while. So the ball into play here is the Blackcats try to get a rebound. They kind of throw it up in the air, hits the backboard, and that's going to stop the clock. And Ste. Gen will take it out underneath on the baseline as Bosler looks to inbound. He inbounds to Bennett. Bennett gives it to Dom. Dom penetrates inside, gets the ball stolen by Brakefield. Nice job by him. And then Hunter steals it, gets it back to Dom, and Bosler on the break is hit, and ball goes out of bounds, but it will stay here with Ste. Gen. Nice job playing by them. So Bosler looks to inbound the ball here. Dishes it over to Dom. Dom swinging it over here. Over to Bennett. Bennett, nice head fake. Hunter looks to penetrate inside. No go there. Back to Bennett at the top of the key, who swings it to Johnson. Johnson to Bennett again, looking for Bosler possibly at the free throw line extended. And he looks to dribble, and Bennett loses the ball. Nice job by Cureton to steal. Or Rutzel to steal, and he throws it to Cureton. Cureton's able to convert, and it's 25-21. Dom will bring it back up as the Dragons look to try and establish offense here. Stomberg inside to Hunter. Hunter goes baseline, tries to do a little hook shot, not able to convert. Stomberg rebounds, kicks it back out to Dom. Dom, nice move inside, shoots a pull-up, misses, and that's going to be out of bounds on Ste. Gen, and the Dragons will get the go to defense here as the Blackcats get the ball. Rutzel will take it down to the court here for the Blackcats, as Ste. Gen still in a matchup man-to-man defense. They go inside. Nice job as they anticipate by Bennett to try and get it to the big man underneath, Robbins. Bosler penetrates and kicks it out to Dom. Dom pulls up back to Bosler from the sideline, shoots the tray, misses. Hunter comes down with the ball, rebounds, and he will be fouled by Robbins, it looks like. Nope, he will be fouled by Brakefield. That'll be Brakefield's third foul, as he's not really sure why he got the call, and I think Robbins got away with one. And Catchings will come in and replace Brakefield for the Blackcats. Bosler looks to inbound here, gives it to Hunter. He shoots the tray from the wing, misses, and Stomberg kind of tips it, and him and Rutzel will kind of fight over it, but that'll be a jump ball, and then it'll go to the Blackcats. So Blackcats will take it out here. Third quarter play, as we are kind of just now starting off the second half. If you just missed, it was a back and forth battle. Ste. Gen moved up pretty fast, and at one point had a 10-point lead, and the Blackcats battled back to bring it within 4 or 5 here, and they're at 4 right now. Nice moves here by Cureton. He drives, misses. Robbins is going to get the rebound. He kicks it out to Catchings, who shoots a tray and nails it. And Ste. Gen will inbound real quick as they bring the ball down. Looking at Stomberg over at the corner, and Dom swings it over to Stomberg. Stomberg back to Dom, over to Stomberg. That's a little play off the feet. Back to Johnson at the top of the key. Johnson pulls up and throws it away as it's tipped. He was trying to get it to Bennett on the wing. And another turnover by Ste. Gen as they're down by 1. Rutzel penetrates but kicks it back out real quick to Slinkard, who sends it over to Cureton. And he gives it back to Rutzel at the top of the key as they look to set up offense. Robbins looking to screen and roll. He does move. He looks to penetrate inside, kicks it back out up to the top to Cureton. Move inside over to Catchings. Catchings gets a back door. Nice pass there by Rutzel to Robbins. Robbins misses the easy block shot. And St. Gen comes back down with it. So St. Gen dodges a bullet there on an easy miss. And Bosler inside to Stomberg. Stomberg blocked by Robbins. Nothing there. As Rutzel brings it back, things starting to go back and forth. The give and go between Cureton and Rutzel. Rutzel trying to penetrate. Bosler will pick him up again. Nice job talking and matching up. And Bosler gets the steal. Nice job as he picks him clean. Bosler brings it back up here, kicks it over to Bennett. Bennett, top of the key, looking to a wing, gives it to Dom. Dom inside to Bennett. Bennett throws it away as it's tipped. And Catchings goes for the layup, and Dom blocks. Nice putback there by Slinkard as he doesn't get a foul called on him. And Dom brings it up as St. Gen now trails for the first time tonight. And little tip ball there by Catchings off of Stomberg, and that ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay St. Gen as looks like Fritch will replace Bennett here and give him a second. And Bosler looking to inbound here. Sends it over the top to Stomberg to Dom for a three-point shot. Misses the baseline shot. Black Cats will rebound. Slinkard has the ball and dishes it back over to Rutzel at the top of the key. And they're looking to try and work something inside or dribble and penetrate. And there goes Slinkard. He goes inside. Nice pass inside to Robbins. And Robbins able to hit that one off the block. And that'll be 2 points as Black Cats go up by 3 with 3:26 to play in the third quarter. And looking at some of the play right now, St. Gen turning the ball over, miscues, and that is resulting in points for the Black Cats, who are capitalizing as they bring the ball down. The Black Cats start to utilize a little bit more pressure underneath with their big man, Robbins, as the screens and penetration inside. And it's paying off right now as they have made up a deficit and are actually in front by 3 in the third period with 3.5, just about 3.5 left to play here. As St. Gen kind of running out of a little mojo here in the third quarters. They come out a little bit flat. So it'll be St. Gen's ball coming out. Black Cats won't press. And the action will ensue here. Same 5 who were in on the timeout are still in here. As Dom brings the ball up. And they've gone to looks like a 1-2-2 or a 2-3 with one on the top. Stomberg kicks it back out to the wing, looks to penetrate, gives it to Bosler. Bosler kicks it out to Stomberg, and Dom goes back to the top of the key, sets it up to Bosler. Free throw line extended. He penetrates inside, shoots the layup, misses. Black Cats bring it down. Good backdoor for the Black Cats by number 10, Rutzel. And Cureton with the assist, catches him. And that'll be 2-point conversion. Dom, top of the key, gives it to Bosler again. Bosler inside, tries to get it inside. Tries to get it inside to Fritch. Fritch didn't reach for it. It went out of bounds. And Fritch and Stomberg will be replaced by Sutton and Bennett. And timeout called by the Black Cats. And that'll be a 30-second timeout by the Black Cats. And we'll be back in a moment.
This winter season, share the flavor of Ciro's with a Ciro's restaurant gift card. Perfect for friends, family, teachers, teammates, and anyone who loves good food and good vibes. Whether it's a cozy dinner, a quick bite, or your favorite Ciro's dish, a gift card lets them enjoy it their way. Easy to give, fun to receive, and delicious every time. Pick yours up today at your local Ciro's restaurant and make someone's season extra tasty.
And it looks like the Black Cats will get the ball coming out here. And St. Gen looks to press here as they're in a 2-2-1 press. Nice job penetrating by the Black Cats as Hutchings drives to the lane. and runs right into Hunter, who draws the charge. And nice job by Hunter staying in there, taking one for the team, and that'll be an offensive foul. That'll be Hutchings' first tonight, or Ketching's first tonight, as Johnson brings it in. St. Gen trailing by 5 with 2:30 left to play. Dom kicks it out to Bosler. Bosler trying to look inside to Hunter. Nothing there. Dom penetrates inside, gets caught, kicks it underneath, throws it away, and steal is going to go to Cureton as he brings it down, swings it out to Rutzel again. Rutzel top of the key is Dom in a 1-2-2 here for St. Gen. It looks like a man-to-man. And St. Gen got a little matchup here. Nice inside pass to Robbins. He kicks it back out to Rutzel. Rutzel, nice dribble and move, and he'll convert two. And minute 53 left to play. St. Gen down 25-32 as Black Cats continue to capitalize on turnovers. Hunter on the top of the key brings it over to Dom. Dom over to Bennett as St. Gen trying to hit a bucket here. They've been kind of going famine right now. Inside pass to Sutton by Bosler, and Sutton able to convert off the block, and that's the first points that they've had in about 3 minutes. Bosler, nice little turnover to Dom. Dom with a layup, converts as they continue to press, and a timeout called immediately by the Black Cats as St. Gen makes up the difference as they're trailing 29-32 on a couple steals right there, back to back, with 1:18 left to play in the third quarter. And we'll be back in a moment. All right, we're back. 1:18 left to play here in the third quarter of play. St. Gen trailing 29-32 as the Dragons kind of anemic in the boards and turnovers in this third quarter. Has definitely not been their best quarter as Black Cats enter the ball, and we're off and running here. Black Cats bring it down, and they look to trap, not able to capitalize there. As St. Gen looking to pull a couple of traps here on the corners if they can find them. As the Black Cats swing the ball around. Good movement by the Black Cats as number 24, Johnson, swings it back over to Rutzel. And Johnson looks to shoot from the three-point line and misses. Johnson will get the ball for the Dragons. He looks to push and goes for the layup. Nice putback, missed by Hunter on the miss by Dom as number 5, Cureton, gets the ball, drives down the field of play here on the court, and Rutzel will shoot a deep tray, miss it, and that'll bounce out of bounds, and St. Gen will get the ball with 26 seconds left to play in the third quarter as they trail 29-32 as Robbins is taken out to get a quick breather, and he will be replaced by number 23, Ritchie, as Dom brings the ball down. St. Gen looking at a one-shot deal here and try to convert here before the fourth quarter. Little screen there. Dish out over to Bennett. Bennett back to Bosler. Bosler to Bennett. Bennett shoots a tray and nails it. And boy, St. Gen needed that as it's a tie game with 6 seconds. Slinkard with the ball, looks to penetrate, and Dom steals it. And there'll be no shot as both teams go in the fourth quarter, tied 32-32. And we'll be back in a moment. coming out of the timeout that leads into the fourth quarter, and St. Gen will get the ball coming out to start the fourth quarter of play here. 8 minutes on the clock, tied 32 all. This has been a back and forth battle. If you're just tuning in, you're missing a good one, and you're picking up the last spot of it. So the action will pick up here as Johnson swings it around underneath to Hunter. Hunter on the block and is able to convert. Nice job, as it looks like St. Gen electing to try and pressure the ball a little bit up top as they press. Good pressure there. Nice job by the Black Cats getting the ball over. And Rutzel will pass it over to Slinker. Slinker drives, misses the penetration inside on the layup. Bennett will get the rebound. Johnson brings it up, slides it over to Bennett. Bennett swings it back out to Johnson. Top of the key, free throw line extended. Bosler looks to penetrate. He does, and he gets fouled. Nice job by Bosler. And he will go to the line. 34-32. St. Gen is up right now. That'll be a first foul by number 23, Cullen Ritchie, for the Black Cats. And Bosler hits that one. Looks like Brakefield will enter for Johnson. And Bosler hits the second one. So St. Gen goes up by 4, and they look to press. St. Gen still in the press here, giving Cureton a little pressure. Nice job on the penetration, getting the ball back in. And Slinkered up top. Tipped ball by Bosler, goes out of bounds. Black Cats will retain the possession as Brakefield will take it out here. St. Gen still in a man-to-man defense. Johnson all over Rutzel right now. Not letting up. Brakefield gets the ball on the wing here. And Johnson leaves Rutzel alone. He shoots from the tray, misses. And Johnson will get the rebound here as St. Gen looks to capitalize on the missed shot. Johnson inside to Bosler. Bosler inside over to Hunter. It looks like it's kicked. And the ball will remain here for the Dragons, as it looks like 23, Cullen Ritchie, will be replaced by Andrew Robbins. Bosler will inbound here for the Dragons. Bosler trying to look it inside. Goes over the top to Johnson, top of the key here. And Johnson dribbles to the middle, gives it again to Bennett. Bennett drains the three. And that's a huge bucket there for St. Gen. As St. Gen continues to press, they look across and just missing that opportunity. Ooh, looked like a walk there by Cureton. Nice penetration there by Rutzel. He will drive and score. St. Gen will bring the ball down. 6:06 left to play here. Got a barn burner here, 39-34. Both teams back and forth action here. Johnson at top of the key sends it over to Bennett. Bennett back to Johnson as St. Gen trying to catch their breath. Johnson swings it over to Bosler. Bosler back to Johnson as they are slowly taking their time here while they're up. Looks like the Black Cats are in a 1-2-2, and Bennett all alone on the baseline hits another tray as he heats up. And that is 2 in a row for Bennett. They got a screen. They basically are able to trap Cureton in the corner. He throws it away. Bosler intercepts, dribbles it right up, hits the layup, and that'll be 2 points. St. Gen goes ahead by 10 as they extend the lead after being down by 5. 44-34. It's a 30-second timeout. 5:21 left to play in the fourth quarter, as both teams have been going back and forth with live action here. We started the fourth quarter. Both teams were tied at 32. St. Gen, since then, has put a couple of buckets together on some turnovers and quick strikes. And the Black Cats have missed a number of opportunities and shots down on their end as the clock is at 5:21. St. Gen led first and second quarter. And then the Black Cats entered into the third quarter and led the majority of it until the last few seconds where St. Gen tied it. So we've got a push here to see what happens. Black Cats will take the ball out as St. Gen looks to press again as they put pressure on the ball, keeping the Black Cats honest as they work the ball down the court here. Slinkard gives it over to Catchings. Catchings swings it over to Cureton, or Rutzel. Rutzel penetrates, turns it over there to Hunter. Hunter will give it to Johnson as St. Gen slows things down to get the ball across. Slinkard will meet Johnson in the middle as they look to double team here and try and get a quick turnover, and they do just then as Stomberg throws it away to Brakefield. Brakefield misses the layup, put back by Slinkard, who hits it. Nice job there by the Black Cats capitalizing on that as they put pressure on them. Johnson gives it over to Hunter. It looks like they are, and looks like Rob Coleman is angry as can be right now with his team as they gave up an easy 2 points. 4:32 left to play, 44-36. St. Gen's still on top. They have the ball, and that'll be a full timeout for St. Gen. St. Gen has 2 timeouts left as the Black Cats have 1 in the game, and still a lot of time on the board. So this could really come down to some major choices on what the coaches want to call and how the players respond to the pressure as the Black Cats decide to put a lot more pressure up on the ball in this fourth quarter. They've been able to replace a couple here and rotate out and get some fresh players in on the court, but they got their starting 5 right now, and they've been putting a little pressure on. The only one that I think is in any kind of trouble with fouls right now might be Brakefield. I think he has 3 or 4 right now, and the Black Cats will come out, and it looks like they will continue to put pressure here as St. Gen looks to inbound. And St. Gen will press break at this juncture. And looks like Sutton has come in here for Bosler. And Bennett gets the inbound. Nice penetration inside. Back over to Hunter. And it was kind of a back and forth riff there as Hunter dishes it over to, looks like Maddox Sutton. Sutton, instead of going for the shot on the block, throws it right back to him for a layup, and he converts. As St. Gen also is putting pressure here. Brakefield has the ball, kicks it over to Catchings. Catchings dribbles out, throws it to Slinkard, and Slinkard nails the baseline 3-point shot. Nice pressure shot by Slinkard there as Dom is a back and forth. Bennett kicks it over to Dom as they get the ball over. Inside to Hunter up free throw line, and Sutton misses the easy shot but is pushed by Catchings. As Catchings a little shocked by that call. Nice job there by Hunter getting to the free throw line extended, breaking that little press that they had going, or pressure I should say, at the top of the key against Dom. And inbounds over to Sutton, who misses that first shot and hits the rim hard on that shot and misses. Bosler will go in for Johnson here and give Johnson's legs a little fresh, much needed break here as Bosler got his break. Sutton settles down, shoots his second one, and hits it. St. Gen up 47-39 as they continue to put pressure. They get it across. Slinkard has the ball, and looks like Brakefield accidentally ran into him on a move on the inside. Brakefield dribbling around on the corner. It looks like Slinkard's the guy they want to give it to on the wing to shoot. Slinkard's been nailing him on the baseline when he gets an opportunity. Bosler, good defense, knocks it out of bounds, and Black Cats will retain. Rutzel at the top of the key here. Swings it back over to Brakefield. Brakefield over to Slinkard. Slinkard tries to step back, and Rutzel will shoot a tray and nail it. And nice job right now by the Black Cats hitting those hyper shots. Bosler inbounds here. He's got 3 men on him and gets it over to Bennett. Bennett inside, nice moves, gives it over to Bosler to the top of the key. 3 minutes left to play here. Bosler getting trapped inside and gets the ball stripped from him by Brakefield, and Bosler fouls immediately on the layup, not allowing the 2 points. With 2:55 left to play, all of a sudden the Black Cats only trail by 5 instead of 10. So that'll be Bosler's second foul on the night. 4th period, so we're in the final throws here of the 4th quarter, as Brakefield goes to the line and hits his first of 2. And looks like Dom will come in for Stomberg. And number 14, Ryder McMinn, I should say, has entered for the Black Cats. And second shot's up, and Brakefield hits it in. And it's a 3-point game. Bosler slings it over to Dom. Nice moves on the inside by Dom. Dom to Hunter, over to Bennett, who shoots a baseline 3-pointer, misses it. And Brakefield comes down, throws it to Hunter. Hunter, loose ball, and it's going to be, looks like Black Cats ball. Nice job there by Slinkard, who battled Hunter underneath for the ball as it went out of bounds. And 2:39 left to play here. As Russell with the ball, slings it over to number 14, McMinn. McMinn over the middle, gives it to Brake. He gives it over to Collins, and that's going to be an immediate foul by Hunter, not allowing an easy 2 points. And that's going to send Robbins to the line here as they're going to tempt fate and see what he can do from the free throw line. 47-44, St. Gen only up by 3. 2 shots here for Robbins on the line. 2:30 left to play, and looks like that'll be Hunter's 3rd foul as Robbins drains the first one. 2nd of 2 here. And Robbins goes up and banks that one in. And St. Gen gets it in real quick as Hunter looks to bring it up the court, swings it over to Bosler. They look to trap Bosler in the corner. He swings it out to Sutton. Sutton tries to throw it inside to Hunter, and it bounces off a number of players, and Coleman's not happy about that pass. But the ball goes out of bounds off of the Black Cats. St. Gen trails by 1 as they inbound here with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. And St. Gen kind of melting down here in the final 4 minutes of the game, missing and turning the ball over. And they did it again as Stomberg turns around and throws it down court. And that'll be a backcourt penalty. And St. Gen turns the ball over again with 2:14 left to play. Rutzel will inbound for the Black Cats. Into breakthrough, tries to inbound, and Bosler, not fooled, steals the ball, kicks it out to Dom. So great job by Bosler, the senior. Dom pulls up and gets the ball over to Bennett. Then Dom gets the ball. Nice inside move, and Hunter hits the ball as an assist from Bosler as he gets the free throw line extended. 1:53 left to play. St. Gen pulls ahead by 3. Rutzer passes it over to Slinkard, who's been hitting the tray tonight. And Slinkard passes it back over to Rutzel. Rutzel looks to penetrate, kicks it out to Slinkard. Slinkard over to Brakefield. Brakefield back over to Rutzel. Rutzel pulls up for a 3 from deep. It sits, but it doesn't go. Dom comes up with it, loses it, and another 3-point shot by Curtin. It misses. Nice move by Rutzel, and Rutzel is fouled from behind. Misses the 2-point shot, but he'll go to the line for 2, as I believe he's fouled by Bennett. And it is, and that's Bennett's first foul for tonight. Minute 23 left to play, 49-46. Rutzel hits his first of 2. Minute 23, 49-47 here, as Rutzel attempts his second shot here from the free throw line. Black Cats look to probably press. And Rutzel hits the second of 2. And they inbound to Dom as Black Cats go to put pressure on. And Hunter over to Bennett. Nice penetration underneath. Bennett playing keep away here as he gives it to Dom up top. Bennett getting low. Nice job as keeping his base stance. Gives it back to Dom as defense is pretty good here right now for the Black Cats. Black Cats being aggressive up top. And Bennett kicks it on over to Hunter. Hunter inside to Bosler. Bosler looks to go and drive and shoot. He is fouled immediately by Rutzel. And that'll put him on the line. 53.6 seconds left to play here as Bosler gets 2 shots. St. Gen pulls everybody off the line for this one as Bosler shoots the first one and misses it. 49-48 here as St. Gen's up by 1. 53 seconds left to play. And Bosler hits the second one as they go up by 2. And St. Gen pulls a little bit back here. 50 seconds as the clock rolls as St. Gen leads by 2. Rutzel up top, looks to drive, kicks it out, over to Slinkard for the 3 and nails it. Coleman not happy about that. 37 seconds, Bosler gets the ball, gives it inside to Stomberg. Stomberg throws it up, misses air ball. Bosler goes up on the rebound, misses the putback. 27 seconds left, 3-on-1, and Brakefield tries to get tricky and sends it slinging out of bounds as he catches the no-look pass as they had a 3-on-1 against Johnson, and he wishes he could get that one back. That could have easily iced things out here. With 25 seconds left, a full timeout is taken by the coach for Black Cats as Brakefield frustrated with himself on that one. St. Gen trailing 50-51. They will get the ball coming out here as they could try to kind of run the clock down and get one shot off and hit it. All they need is 2 points here. We'll see what Coleman dials up with the last 25 seconds. Coleman still has 2 timeouts to call if he needs them, which I'm sure he will burn them if he needs it for St. Gen, as the Black Cats are now out of timeouts as they called their last one as they lead by 1. If you're just tuning in, this has been great back and forth action tonight by both teams as St. Gen has been ahead most of the game, and the Black Cats have battled back in the third quarter only to see it get to a tie, and it's been back and forth here this fourth quarter. So it's 50-51. 25 seconds left to play. St. Gen will take it out. Looks like the Black Cats will not contest the ball and put any pressure on full court as St. Gen is able to inbound here is Johnson. Slow to bring it up, so St. Gen's going to elect a one-shot deal here as they look to double team up at the top. And Bennett looks to screen. Johnson inside and throws it away just like that. Wow. 14.5 seconds left to play as St. Gen, first pass, just slings it out of bounds. And it's now 50-51 as St. Gen is down by 1. They're going to have to foul on the inbound. And they inbound over to Brakefield. And they pass the ball in. And Johnson and that's going to be an offensive foul by number 3, Cooper Kreitz, or not. So that's going to be a offensive foul here by number 3, Cooper Kreitz. No, that's going to be, I'm sorry, number 3 for St. Gen, Hunter. So that's going to be, I'm sorry, it's going to be a defensive foul. Hunter was able to foul before he was able to shoot and score. And they inbound into Brakefield. Brakefield is fouled by Bosler. And he's going to go to the line here. And that puts him in bonus. That'll be Bosler's third foul for tonight. 7.6 seconds left to play here. St. Gen trails by 1. Brakefield goes to the line here to shoot 2. And Brakefield misses the first one. St. Gen's going to have to get and go here if he misses or if he makes. We'll see what the Black Cats do. And he hits the second one. And they inbound quickly to Bosler. Bosler down the court, brings it to Stomberg. Stomberg fires it up a 3 and is fouled in the air by number 4, David Slinkard. And Slinkard hitting Stomberg on the 3-point shot in the air. Will get 3 shots from the line. Well, now they're saying it's 2 points that he was on the line. So looks like Stomberg gets 2 shots. St. Gen trailing by 2. Stomberg's got to hit both of these. And he hits the first one. Big pressure shooting right now by Stomberg as he looks to tie with 2.1 seconds left. Stomberg lines up Nice and easy. And hits the second. And boy, well, that is clutch for St. Gen. Brakefield inbounds to Rutzel, and he shoots the three and misses. Oh my God, and St. Gen lets Rutzel just come down the court, and he gets a legitimate three-point shot in the air, misses, overshoots, and we are going to overtime. So St. Gen and the Black Cats are tied at 52 going into the fourth period of play. It is now going to be overtime, and anything can happen as St. Gen and the Black Cats have had a great night against each other defensively and playing pretty well. We'll see what happens here as they enter into 4-minute play. So as we go into overtime, the first round is 4 minutes of play. We'll see how they handle the play calling here for the coaches here, as it looks to be the Black Cats ball coming out to start the second half, or I should say the overtime. Well, it's going to be a jump ball, I think. All right, so looks like Hunter and Robbins are going to jump for the ball here to start the overtime. Hunter is slightly shorter than Robbins. Robbins easily tips that one to the Black Cats, and there we go. So the action ensues here for the Black Cats. They kick it out to Cureton at the top of the key. He gives it to Brakefield. Brakefield swings it over to Rutzel. Rutzel pulls it out here as he looks to try and find something inside. St. Gen at a man-to-man defense right now, as they go to inside here to Cureton. Cureton looks like he walked. Ball's micked around. They give it to Slinkard up top. Slinkard shoots the tray, misses. It'll be rebounded by Bennett. Bennett gives it to Dom. Dom brings it down here. As a 2-3 zone going on here on defense. And it looks like a timeout is called by Rob Coleman, as he thinks that should have been a foul. Bennett goes down to the court, doesn't get up, so there's no turnover there. Coleman, seeing the action, calls the timeout and saves a possession with 3:14 left to play, and each possession right now is crucial. St. Gen still has one timeout left to call here, as Fredericktown has exhausted all of theirs. Both teams are exhausted as they look to try and find some sort of edge here going into overtime. 3:14 left to play, 52 tied all still. St. Gen will get the ball coming out of the timeout, as it is a full timeout. St. Gen drawing up a play here. Coleman expecting to see some execution. Last time they did this, it was right before the half, or right before the few seconds of the fourth quarter, and the Dragons threw it out of bounds and got lucky, as Stomberg got fouled and hit 2 free throws, crucial, on the line with 2.1 seconds left. Hunter will inbound here for the Dragons as he sends it over to Dom. Dom takes it up top of the key. Bosler looks to pick and roll, and nobody there, and that'll be a kicked ball, and it'll go out of bounds. That will be St. Gen's ball, as Bennett looks to inbound again and sends it out to Dom. Dom dribbling up the middle, looks over to Stomberg. Stomberg back to Dom up top, and Dom trying to find something inside, gives it over to Stomberg and gives it to Bosler. Hunter dribbles inside from the block, hits the 2 points, and is fouled by Robbins. Nice job by Hunter, pushing that one up hard. And Robbins committing his first foul of the night. So this is one shot here for Hunter, as he converted the 2-point foul, and Hunter bangs one off the glass, and Black Cats will – get the rebound as Rutzel brings it up. Rutzel to top of the key, gives it to Cureton. Cureton looks to drive inside, stop and pop, misses. Batted out by Brakefield and rebounded. Brakefield again, but this time he goes over the top and doesn't get away with it. And that is an easy foul call there, as that may be his 4th foul, and it is. So Brakefield will have 4 fouls as St. Gen is on top, 54-52. 2:32 left to play, and we are in the bonus round. So Dom will go to the line here to shoot 2. Johnson comes up and misses the first one, as looks like Cureton will be replaced here by Catchings. St. Gen looking to hit this second one here, as this time they have 2 rebounders in play here, as Dom goes to the line here. Sophomore point guard, and he hits the second one, a little ring around the collar, but it goes in, and the game will ensue. 2:28 left to play. Catchings up top here with the ball, swings it out to Brakefield. Brakefield looking to throw over to Slinkard. Slinkard been solid up top. Nice defense by Dom. Catchings looking to try and give it up again. He sends it over. Oh, nice job by Bosler. And wild call there. I thought that was a really good defensive play by Bosler. And that'll be his 4th foul. Catchings will hit his first of 2 here with 2:10 left to play as he's on the line. Scores 55-53. St. Gen leading by 2. Catchings shoots his second of 2, and in and out. That'll be rebounded by Hunter, and St. Gen retains a 2-point lead with 2:07 left to play. And Catchings goes to push the action here. Bosler gets the pass back inside to Bosler. Bosler kicks it back out to Dom. Dom dribbling around here as the 2-3 still in action for. Looks like a 1-2-2 now for the Black Cats. Dom looks to penetrate inside, keeping the ball alive here. Minute 42 left to play as St. Gen kind of pushing the clock here. Inside to Bosler. Bosler top of the key, sends it over to Dom. Dom, spin move on the outside. Spin move again, keeping the ball away. Inside to Bosler. Oh, almost an inside. And Bennett shoots the tray and misses. Wow. Thought he would sit there and pull time. Now they give it to Catchings for the 3. He misses. Bosler gets the rebound. Looks to Dom. Dom dribbling out, trying to find somewhere to run. He can't, as Rutzel fouls him with 1:08 left to play. And Dom will go to the line for 2 on that. And that'll be Rutzel's 2nd foul of the night. Both teams done pretty good staying out of foul trouble. There's a couple in there that have 4. Brakefield has 4 and Bosler has 4 right now. I think everybody else is relatively safe as Dom misses that one in and out of the rim here as he goes to shoot the second one. Dom a little frustrated with himself. Maybe he can settle down here and hit this one. 1:08 left to play, and Dom hits the second one. St. Gen goes ahead by 3. And Rutzel will bring it up quick as he looks to penetrate inside. Dom playing good defense on. Rutzel will penetrate, kicks it out over to Slinkard, tipped by Stomberg. Brakefield up top, drives, kicks it back out to Rutzel. Rutzel hits, looks for the tray and misses. Robbins tips the ball. Good box out there by Stinnett. And the ball will go out of bounds on Robbins. 48.4 seconds left to play. Hunter looks to inbound here as they are pressing. And the Black Cats get it over as they stay in their press. They sling it over to Bosler. Bosler to Dom. Dom will pass it back to Bosler. They will cross over. And Bosler calls a quick timeout. And St. Gen burns their last timeout. With 37.3 seconds left, St. Gen ahead by 3. Dragons use their last timeout with 37 seconds left. They're up by 3 right now. It is overtime for the St. Gen Dragons and the Fredericktown Black Cats. as St. Gen hosting the Black Cats tonight. We knew this would be a good one coming in. Both teams very adequately equipped to play each other, both averaging about the same amount of points and giving points, and have a pretty close to the same record. The Black Cats saw St. Gen earlier I should say last year in December when they went to the holiday tournament over in Park Hills. Black Cats were able to go ahead and significantly beat the Dragons, who didn't have one of their best games. But St. Gen's come on here a little bit this month for their January, and they're starting to play a little more consistent ball. So Bosler will inbound here for the Dragons, and he gives it over to Hunter. Hunter will keep the ball and give it back to Bosler. Bosler penetrates, kicks it out to Bennett. Bennett slings it over to Johnson. Johnson is fouled as Slinkard attempts to get the steal. Great effort on his part, but he will draw the foul. That'll put Johnson on the line again for the Dragons as the clock diminished to 27.4 seconds left in overtime. Johnson will attempt his first of two here. And in and out as Johnson has gone to the line 3 times. He misses the first one. And see if he'll hit the second as he tries to settle down here. He's getting in his own head here. 27.4 seconds left. The Dragons up by 3. Johnson hits the second one. Big time bucket there as Rutzel brings it down quickly. As 25 seconds on the clock. Rutzel looks to penetrate, gives it over to Curitan, and Curitan walks. Oh my, huge turnover. And that was not what the Black Cats needed. And looks like the Black Cats will call their one timeout that they get in overtime here. And that'll be a full. And we will be back here in a moment. Welcome to another night of SGHS Sports. Before we get to the action, let's talk about the team behind our broadcast, Ciro's Family Restaurant. For over 30 years, this downtown St. Gen landmark has been a local favorite, known for its incredible pizza, delicious sandwiches, varietal pasta, and cool suds. Whether you're dining in, enjoying the patio, or just need a quick bite, with curbside pickup, Ciro's has you covered. They even have a great salad bar to go. Ciro's Family Restaurant, the official sponsor of the SGHS Sports Stream and Down to the Wire podcast. Grab a slice and let's get ready to cheer on the Dragons. Click on the QR code or go online to check out their updated menu at cirosrestaurant.com/menus. All right, and that takes us out of the timeout here. St. Gen ahead right now. 20.3 seconds left to play. Black Cats just turned the ball over on a walking violation, and St. Gen will get the ball back. Black Cats are going to have to foul quickly. Johnson gets the ball. They give it back to Bosler. Bosler tries to dribble out and is fouled immediately by Slinkard for the Black Cats, and Bosler will go to the line here to shoot 2. That will be Slinkard's 3rd foul tonight. And Bosler will shoot 2 here. 16 seconds left to play for all practical purposes as Bosler sinks the first one. If you're just tuning in, we're in overtime. And Bosler hits the second. Big clutch baskets there as Rutzel brings it down quickly, slings it out to Brakefield, who shoots a deep 3, misses, and looks like Hunter will rebound, and that'll be the end of the game, and St. Gen will retain the lead and the win in overtime. And boy, it was a beauty. Hats off to the Black Cats, who played a great game as they were able to take this into overtime and make it an exciting game to end the weekend here. Right before the snow ensues, I think, coming up over the weekend. Final score 59-53 in overtime as the visiting Black Cats will take the loss here as St. Gen goes to 9 wins on the season to improve their record. Great job by St. Gen staying in it. And that's a wrap. That wraps up tonight's coverage on SGHS Sports Stream, powered by Wirecast. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Ciro's Restaurant and Dwayne Doza Auto Body and Auto, for their continued support. This broadcast has been brought to you by Ste.Genevieve High School, Thanks for watching. Drive safe, and we'll see you next game night as we have a number of games coming up here for St. Gen. They've been on the road a lot going from December. In fact, this was their first home game in a while since December. They will have a couple of them, 3 more in a row here next week and the week following that. So they got 2 next week and 1 on the other end. So great job to St. Gen. Thanks for tuning in and following us. If you like us, just hit subscribe and join us. You'll get all the latest games on YouTube from the SGHS